Hi, this is Diane, and welcome to DMD Digest. Today we're going to talk about protein powders, both whey protein based as well as some plant proteins. And if you had watched the previous webcast, I had talked a lot about gas, flatulence, indigestion, things like that from protein sources. And I kind of wanted to tie that into talking about protein powders. There is so much information about protein powders. I find it completely overwhelming. And I personally kind of turned to protein powders because I kind of struggle eating enough protein to begin with. And between that and just convenience, I wanted to kind of learn more about it and get more into it. And the more I looked into it and the more products I saw on the market, the more confused I became. So if you bear with me here, on the screen behind me, you can see just some protein powders, different things, what they look like. And come to find out, there is just a multitude of protein powders out there. Some are whey-based isolates, and some are vegan. So we're going to talk a little bit about both of them. But give me a second and let me show you something here. So if you take a look, I'm going to scroll down here just a few of when I popped up on Google Images some protein powders, just how many we found. And the list is ongoing. There are so many different products and for so many different purposes, and they all have different grams of protein content, and some of them are organic and some of them are not organic, and some of them are supposed to be made to do different things, like help you lose weight, help you gain muscle mass, help you do both all at the same time. Some of them have mixtures of other chemicals and additives and things like that in them. Some of them are purely organic. Some of them, as you can see, are different colors because they might be flavored: chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, mocha. And then, of course, the ones that come from plant sources might be pea proteins or hemp or chia seed or peanut. Who knows? But it's overwhelming. And we do not have time today or probably in the next couple of sessions to go through every single one of them and what's good and not good and what shouldn't be in there. So I'm going to summarize for you, and we're going to just talk about some different things. For one, most of the protein powders out there are going to be whey-based, as I had said. And that one reason is actually for taste. The whey protein isolates and protein concentrates, and then there's a protein hydrolysate, and those tend to taste a little bit better. They can mix a little bit better. They can come in a multitude of flavors, as I had said. And those are going to be the products that you're going to find the most on the market. The downside of that would be if you have a lot of digestive issues, which is pretty much what these series focus on. Because whey proteins, even the protein isolates, which are kind of formulated to break down a little bit easier, be a little bit easier to digest, some of the fat content has been taken out, and it generally has a little less sugar in addition to it, but it still is that dairy mix. Even if you can get whey-based products that are lactose-free, dairy-free, I have personally found that some of those, even as I said with the whey protein isolate and the caseins that are in it, can still be problematic if you have a lot of digestive issues, to the point of your very gassy again, or maybe even having a lot of heartburn, belching kind of issues. And it can be stemming just from that. Another downside is if you are completely vegetarian, then you may not want the whey product. Even though it's a lot of them state that they're not a dairy source, it is still coming from a milk-based product. So you would be interested in the vegan plant proteins, and there are many different types of plant proteins. Soy is one thing to consider, and many years ago, soy actually was being marketed as this super healthy, great thing, especially for women to do, because they were looking at maybe some estrogens that were perhaps being stimulated or promoted or enhanced from the soy products. Tofu, if you remember, became quite popular and quite trendy as well. Now the research is kind of leaning against that and showing that, gosh, the soy products may not be what we thought they were. So that's something to consider. I would not look for a soy-based product to be the main protein content of your powder if you're going that route, as well as drinking soy milks. Those actually have been replaced a little bit more with nut milks, such as almond, cashew, those type of things you're seeing hit the market a little bit more. But shifting back into the protein powders, there are, as I said, lots of different things to consider. Now let's talk about pea protein. And as I had thought, pea protein was probably going to be green, and it's not. It's evidently made from yellow peas. But come to find out, pea protein is very rich in branched chain amino acids. If any of you are really big bodybuilders, working out, really have some intense fitness regimens that you do, then you're going to be familiar with branched chain amino acids. That's something that a lot of bodybuilders look for. It's something important if you're really working those muscles out, to use to replace, to kind of help with the fatigue and the muscle repair that you're going to need post-workout. Pea protein is also a really pretty sound source of protein, and is high in leucine. It does tend to not have that great of a flavor though, and you'll often see pea proteins that are mixed with other protein sources. As a matter of fact, there is a non-dairy ice cream, if you will, that is out on the market, and it is made solely of pea protein, and I tried it, and I personally was not a big fan. If I eat ice cream, I want full heavy cream, and I want full dairy, and I don't want a plant product. Hemp is not really considered a full or a complete amino acid protein source, because it is low in some amino acids. It's low in leucine, but it does happen to be a richer source of omega-3 and omega-6s. So often it will be combined with other types of protein sources, such as pea or even alfalfa, chia seeds. There's quinoa. There are a mix of other types of plant proteins that can be all mixed together. Brown rice is another source that I'm seeing a lot more in plant-based protein powders. So it actually is kind of a good thing to have some mixtures, because you want as complete of a protein as you possibly can get. And that is often why the majority of manufacturers out there are using the whey protein base, because it's one of the most complete protein-rich sources that also has a good source of amino acid that you can find. One thing that I did just recently find, I was looking for a source. As you know, I like to try to back up the information that I find with some research and some like online websites to be able to refer to, and for you also to be able to investigate, because you want to read your label well, just like I've mentioned with the vitamins, supplements, anything else out there. Read your label, find out what's in it. Is it organic? Is it not? Is it GMO? Is it has it been tested? How do we know what is actually in the product is really in the product? Could there be a bunch of fillers, or could there be contaminants in there? And the answer to all those questions are yes, absolutely, there can be. And there actually is a website that I kind of came across. It is called cleanlabelproject.org. And I'm actually looking down at the sheet because I went ahead and printed this out as a reference for myself and to give to you all. And I just recently came across this, as I had said, and had found some of the products. As you know, there are a lot of corporations out there, and you know this is a huge money market, and so many people are into protein powders. That's kind of why I'm talking about it today, and I want to try to steer you in the right direction. But because it is such a big market, and it seems to me, especially going through, as I had shown you earlier, just when you type in something, all of the different sources of protein powders out there, it's completely overwhelming and confusing at best. So always investigate your product. Always look and see if this is something that you actually need. You know, if you eat enough protein during the day, you're not extremely active, you aren't a bodybuilder, you're not doing, you know, training for a triathlete or, you know, something of that nature, you may not even need this. But as I mentioned, this cleanlabelproject.org website lists some of their top 5 protein powders, and these are all whey-based. I'm still kind of doing the research on top 5 and bottom 5 for plant-based things. But I wanted to read to you what this company's top 5 and least favorite 5 are. And once again, remember that corporations can pay to put their product in a test site and have companies rate it. So always be on the lookout for that. Our websites that we purchase things online from, or going to like Amazon, things like that, will often say best product or most liked by consumers, but you never actually know, was that a funded site? You know, what did the corporation pay money, so to speak, to be able to get another company to say, you know, top seller, best product, you know, most people rated that they loved it. Always read reviews. So, as I promised, some top 5 protein powders that, once again, they're all whey protein based. One of them is called Puori. It's Puori. Another one is called Biochem. Another one is called Body Fortress. Another one is called Performix. And then the last one indicated is Pure Protein. Now, Pure Protein is pretty popular, and they also make a protein bar similar to something like this. This is not Pure Protein. This is a Detour. It's a gluten-free protein, 10-gram protein, 130, 150 calories, something like that, low sugar. This was something that I'm really picky about protein bars, and I do kind of like these. This is a cookie dough, and I had an apple cinnamon here also. So those are some top protein powders. On their bottom list, things that did not rank high, one of them is called Vega or Vega, however you want to say that. It's a sport. This is considered a plant-based vanilla. So that is one plant-based. However, when I went to Amazon, Vega was named as one of their top sellers, high-rated products. But according to Clean Label Project, this and 4 others actually were ranked in the lower category because it contained some of the highest amounts of industrial and environmental contaminants and the lowest nutritional integrity or superiority. Another one is called 360 Cut, which is a whey-based product. Quest is another one. I think a lot of us are familiar with Quest. They also have protein bars. They have like protein cookies, things like that. Nature's Best is another one. Their IsoPure product. And then the last one is the Garden of Life, which is an organic meal replacement. So those rated on the lower 5, and that was just based on contaminants and their superiority. So with that information, I know this was lengthy, lots of information in a short period of time, but thank you so much for listening, and I hope this helps you to make a better educated decision about what type of protein powder you'd like to purchase. Thank you so much.